Peace, everyone, and welcome. It's Jonathan with JRS Inspires, and I want to take this opportunity to share a public service announcement, just a friendly reminder that life is simple, right? It's just we who complicate it. We take this thing of life where really the necessities that we have is food, clothing, shelter, and cultivating relationships, and we somehow put that into this crazy quadratic formula and move all these numbers and things around and sequence and make it this huge, chaotic, complicated thing of life, right? And whether you are the most well put together person or you're just trying to figure it out like everybody else, it happens to all of us where we get stressed out, right? We get stressed out because we are unable to figure out that very easy formula and just think that there's all of these other responsibilities, all of these other things that we need to do, that we have to do, that we should do. And there you go, life and stress, right? Now, I've obviously dedicated a lot of time and energy. I've released a course about stress and how to mitigate it. I talk about it very frequently. And this is just a very small snapshot on stress. This is not a end-all be-all conversation, but this is to help you get thinking. Again, just a public service announcement that life is simple. It's just we who complicate it. And one of the things that I talk about most often with the clients that I work with is boundaries, right? One of the best ways that we can mitigate stress in our life is to create our own boundaries. Now, you've probably heard it before that if you don't set your own boundaries, other people are going to set them for you. And a lot of times when I hear that phrase, people are talking about their bosses or their coworkers, but it's not just limited to that. It also includes yourself, very important. We can't forget about ourselves and the accountability and responsibility that we take for the actions that we take in life. It also includes your spouse, your kids, your parents, siblings, everyone, right? Because if you're not taking the time to create those boundaries and to have a clear trajectory of your life and the direction that you're moving, then that's where you allow these people to kind of impede and make you feel, or you allow yourself to feel, these other energies and just motivations and agendas and absorb them as your own and create this chaotic stress in your life, right? Now, I do want to share with you my own personal experience, something that I worked through probably about 5 years ago and still today cultivate. I still reflect on it because it's that little niche that I have for myself that needs that reminder every so often. And maybe you share the same in your life, or maybe it's something different, but I want to share so that we get a better example of boundaries and what it is that I'm kind of talking about here. Now, for myself, money was a pretty big stress for myself, and it kind of all started when I did good. I got hired at the fire department at a very young age, so I was making a career salary, and it felt like a very positive event, and in reality it was, but I put myself in a position where my spending was very sporadic. There was no boundaries on it, and thus I created a lot of stress in my life. I would look at stuff, and of course I wasn't crazy, filthy rich, but I was making a lot of money for a 20-year-old kid. Now, I was in positions where I was spending money, going to sporting events. If I couldn't buy something cash, I would buy it with credit and then pay the credit card off in a very timely manner. But obviously, as my journey progressed and, I took on additional responsibilities with a spouse, with a child, things changed. But I wasn't at the point where I realized how much it would affect my finances. And in my own mind, I cultivated this idea that now that I took on all of this additional responsibility, I had to be the man. I had to do this male role, and I almost assumed this level of guilt if I wasn't crazy working myself to death, right? And I literally got to the point where not just once, but multiple times, I was getting sick. I was boogers, all that stuff, because I wasn't giving myself and my body the time to reset, to relax. I was feeling like I had to do all this stuff. And thankfully, I had people in my life. I had mentors and coaches and family members that don't just tell me what I want to hear, but would tell me things that I had to hear. And that's why a lot of times when I work with clients, they're like, man, nobody's ever told me this stuff. And it's very easy stuff that we can build on, but a lot of times you need that association. You need that person in your life to kind of help you through those moments. And so I got to thinking, and I was like, well, listen, what am I doing all this hard work for? Why am I making all this money? And again, making very decent money. But why was I making it to the point that I was getting sick? And I would make these excuses, and this is very important for you guys to listen to. We make these excuses where these good gestures hide our hidden motivations. And so for me, I was like, no, I'm just trying to do the right thing. I'm just trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to get a bigger house and all this, nicer cars, better vacations, all of these things. And in reality, never took the time to really evaluate what it was that my family actually required. And we talk about it all the time, right? The most important thing that you can do for other people, whether it's a complete stranger or your best friend in life, your spouse, whoever, is to be present, to be a human being and communicate, to be empathetic, to share, to grow, to cultivate those relationships like I was talking about, especially when it comes to your family and your kids. Now, that's my personal preference. I do think that many of you would agree, but maybe not. Coming back to money. How does money cultivate relationships in our life? Maybe those better vacations, better cars, memories, I don't know. At the end of the day, and I shared this in my last video, and somebody kind of called me out on it, and I was building on it, that me and my family, we do something fun every single day. And right now, today, I am at the basketball court. I came out to shoot some hoops. We're getting ready to go to the pool in the afternoon to do some swimming. It's hot, it's Florida, it's summer. And we do something every single day. And whether it's only half an hour or an hour, we make the most out of that time so that we can make memories every single day. Not just that 2 or 3 times a year on that fancy vacation or the nice car, whatever it is that, again, we fixate in our mind, the keeping up with that Joneses mentality of having to work, and never taking the time to take a step back and remember the basic necessities of life and moving with those, having those as our boundaries. And again, that's what I had to do in my personal life to really disassociate myself from this worry and this stress of working myself sick, to create this fantasy or this idea of life with money, with my family, with myself. It's very simple. It's we who complicate it, okay? And it's very important that if we are stressed out and we are looking at these boundaries that we have in our life or do not have in our life, whether it's money for yourself, cultivating relationships, health, diet, finances, anything, your career path, whatever it might be, cultivate boundaries in your life and see that starting point. Just see what it begins to develop for you in your life and what it can project moving forward. Again, a lot of the things that we can accomplish in life, where we move that ceiling further and further away as much as possible, comes from when we're able to mitigate and manage our stress. When we do not handle or manage our stress, that's when the littlest thing, that's when you see like a rubber band, people snap, people get stressed out, they freak out, yelling at their spouse, their children, the person driving down next to them, anyone, right? We get so stressed out and so rigid in our thinking and in our living that we forget how simple it can be. But it's important that we cultivate those boundaries, all right? So make sure that you don't just listen to this public service announcement, this friendly reminder, but you take some time to reflect on it. If it's something that you think I can help you with, then of course I have my coaching available at jrsinspires.com. Stay tuned for more videos here on YouTube. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those fun stuff. And, be on the lookout. I'm going to be adding a lot more videos as often as I can. Just because I feel like I've been doing a lot of work behind the scene and not really sharing the true, authentic reasons and the findings that I'm having every single day with the work that I do personally and the work that I do with my clients. I'm going to go finish shooting some hoops. My family's on their way home, and then we're heading to the pool. So I'm excited. Do something fun every single day, whether it's just you, whether you have a family, whether it's you and just your spouse, whatever. Do something fun. It doesn't require a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of focus, attention. This requires you being present, not at work, not thinking about other things, not worrying about other things, not stressing about other things, living life, right? Stress free, stress mitigated, and happy, right? So until next time, guys, I'm Jonathan. I'm signing out. Peace.